Hey there guys, Luke here with the Outdoor Gear Review. I hope you're doing well. Today for this episode, we're going to be doing a more in-depth look at the improved 3-season Bivy. And along with that, we're going to be taking a look at the previous generation. We might as well compare these two since I have them both, but also so you can see the differences, you can see what might work for you, what doesn't work for you, so on and so forth. Of course, at the end of the video, I want you guys to feel free to drop me a line, send me some questions, whatever comes to mind, because I know that, when it comes to backpacking, military surplus, bushcrafting and all that good stuff, there's a lot of gear, there's a lot of different techniques, people have questions, I have questions, still do, but of course, I want you guys to feel welcome to send those in, I'll do my best to help you out. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and unroll these and start talking about them. We'll first start with the previous generation Bivy sack. Very nice indeed. And then we'll go ahead and move to the improved model. So as you guys can see here, these are two very different Bivies. This one, of course, is coyote brown in color, and this one here actually has a camo pattern to it. This one is definitely smaller than this one. You can see here that there's a good size difference, especially concerning width. The coyote brown one is a little bit longer though, which is kind of interesting. Now with the previous generation model, it has a zipper that goes along the side and goes a very good distance down, as you can see here. It also has button snaps, very useful if you're connecting in with the sleeping bags and so on. With the improved version, it has Velcro instead of buttons and does not unzip as much as the previous model. Now, while this model opens on the side and goes down a little bit more than halfway, this one here doesn't go down as far, but it does go all the way around, giving you access more from the top than the side. Now, another big difference is the materials. This is 100% gore-tex. This is 100% nylon. So you're talking about two different fabrics here. Before I hop inside of these, to give you guys a good idea about size, figured that I'll bring the camera over and I'll show you guys some close-ups. So here you have that side zipper that goes all the way along the side, up around the top and stops there. As you can see, you do have the button snaps. Very nice, very handy. This is meant to be integrated into the sleep system, the sleeping bag, so on and so forth. On the improved model, you can see the differences here with the zippers and the pulls. This is a cloth. This is like a rubberized over a nylon. Very nice. Of course, with this previous generation, you seal yourself up, and that's about all that you can do. And it's not 100% seal either. You still have access from the top here. On the improved model, you have this bug netting, and I'll show you guys how this works. But on the inside, you can actually unzip this, unzip the nylon, so you can still be protected, you can still breathe. Very, very nifty. And you can see here how the zipper goes all the way around to over here. As you guys can see here, now I'm going to hop inside of this Bivy just to give you an idea of how big it is. And what I will do is scoot all the way down to the end. You can easily see here that this is meant to, be a one-size-fits-all. This is definitely long enough for most people. It really depends on how wide you are, if this is going to be a problem or not. If you're a wide dude, this Bivy right here might be the ticket for you. So, my feet are now at the end of the Bivy, and I'll go ahead and I'll pull this thing all the way up, and I'll kind of stick my hand up to show you where my head's at. There we go. So, as you can see there, that is huge. My head is right here. That's about where my eyes are. So, definitely a very good sized bivvy. I'll move the camera once more, bring it a little bit closer to my face here, and I'll seal myself up, and I'll open up the netting here. Show that to you. Ooh-ah. So here we go. I now have my face able to stick out here and breathe a little bit. Not too shabby, guys. This actually breathes pretty well. I'm actually fairly impressed, to be honest with you. I kind of expected this to kind of be a sauna box, but not too shabby. You know, when it comes to using a bivy sack such as this, there are definite rules on how to do it. You wouldn't want to be running around in the woods collecting firewood and then hop inside of this. You will sweat your brains out. The key to using a bivy sack is to cool down before you get inside of it, and then you'll be alright. The dogs are definitely interested. But this is pretty neat here. You have this mesh, and you can, of course, if the weather gets bad, you can just seal yourself back up. Woo! Hi, girls. And of course, I'm getting loved on by my girls here. They love military surplus just as much as I do. Alright, since we went ahead and hopped inside the improved 3-season bivy, we'll hop inside the previous model, and I'll show you guys a little bit about it. Big up. As you guys can see, this bivy is plenty big enough for your husky, which is always a plus in my book. Now with this bivy sack, it's definitely easier to hop inside of. There's definitely more room to it. And it's also easier to zip up. The zipper is very, very fluid on it. On this one here, it's a little bit tight. It took a little bit of work, a little bit of effort. Now as you can see here, the zipper stops right here. It does not go all the way around, so you cannot completely seal yourself up. You know, for summer use, springtime, and maybe fall, depending on where you're at, that can present some problems. If you don't like bugs, this may not be the bivy sack for you. Now for myself, I use it in the wintertime. In the fall, bugs go away here, you know, and you know, I can tell you that it breathes very, very well. It's also very comfortable. I fit a full-size sleeping pad in here, a full-size, humongous down sleeping bag in this. And I slept like a baby. I didn't condensate in it. It did really, really well. And also helped insulate my sleeping bag just a little bit more. So that's pretty nice. There's a piece of Velcro here and on the back side that you can kind of seal this thing up somewhat. You know, it's good enough to keep the weather out. But like I said, it's not good enough to keep the bugs out. Something to consider. Here's a tip, guys. When you're rolling up a bivy sack, always start at the foot box. And as you roll up, you will push all the air out of the top opening. If you do it the other way, at the foot box, you'll basically have a balloon. Now when it comes to this bivy, you have a little bit more, we're going to say, obstacles to rolling this up. You have these wire stays that kind of keep this off your face, and that can pose a little bit of an issue when you're trying to roll this thing up neatly. So you do the best that you can. Leave a small hole unzipped at the top so you can roll the air out of it. Usually I like to start here and kind of push this all down and fold the top in half. So, you know, here you go. It's definitely smaller. There's less material to deal with. It's a lighter, but just a little. I'm not going to say it's a whole lot because I can't really distinguish the amount in my hands here. But, yeah, pretty slick. Now, coming up here in a couple days, we'll be doing our overnight stealth adventure. And we will be taking the improved 3-season bivy with us. The temperatures are supposed to be mid-50s for the lows, around high 70 for the highs here. So, you know, it's really going to be a good test to see how well that nylon breathes compared to the Gore-Tex. You know, my initial impressions are, just from being inside of that improved Bivy, that it's warmer. It seemed to be holding heat a little bit more so than the Gore-Tex. So that will definitely be an interesting factor, you know. Heck, we might be in for a hot night. Don't know. Now, personally, I will sleep with the entire Bivy sealed up. If you guys know me, I hate spiders. I don't care too much about bugs, really, but I do have a problem with spiders. In one of my videos, I explained why, so if you don't know why, you'll have to go back and watch them and try to figure out which video it's in and why I hate spiders so much. With these Bivvies, you have two very different products, really. You know, and honestly, I wouldn't even say that one is better than the other, because they really are two different beasts. One, you're able to seal yourself up 100% in. It's also made out of nylon, which is interesting. We'll see how that performs. You know, the other, you cannot seal yourself up 100% in. But it is Gore-Tex. We know that it breathes very, very well. You know, I've even tested and proven that. So, yeah, we got some work to do. We got some testing to do. Now, of course, with the improved 3-season Bivy, at the moment, it is way, way, way more expensive. We're talking about $200. I mean, that includes the sleeping bag and the stuff sack. Sometimes even more. I've seen them as high as $350. Sometimes the Bivy can be found for about $60 on its own on eBay. You'll have to do some searching. The previous model you could find by itself for very, very cheap, $40, maybe less. You can buy the entire sleep system. You know, that comes with the stuff sack. It comes with the Bivy. It comes with 3 sleeping bags with different temperature ratings. You know, so you're getting a heck of a system that's also humongous. But you can get it for $100 or less, you know, depending on where you're looking. So, like I said, two very different beasts, and I'm excited to test them out coming up in a couple days here. And of course, that I'm talking about the improved Bivy. All right, guys, for our look at these two Bivies, the improved new model and the previous generation, that's it. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. Of course, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll talk soon. Be well.